right now at 5:30. Protesters chained themselves across the light rail tracks as Super Bowl ticket holders filled the trains. Hear why they did it. The big game is the talk of the nation, but so are our low temperatures and wind chill.
We've been here 3 days.
Love Minnesota. Everyone's really nice. It is so cold here.
It's the coldest Super Bowl on record. How long temperatures remain frigid and when to expect snow.
But the cold weather isn't slowing down football fans on the sport's biggest day.
Game day is finally here. I'll show you how Minnesotans are celebrating in the host city.
Now, from Minnesota's most watched station, this is WCCO 4 News.
Thanks for joining us on the Super Bowl Sunday. I'm Angela Davis. It is kickoff time at U.S. Bank Stadium, where the New England Patriots are taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 52. We have team coverage of the big game tonight from all across the state. Kate Raditz, Molly Rosenblatt, and Reg Chapman are all standing by, but we want to start with Kate Raditz, who's following a developing story in Minneapolis. Protests that temporarily stopped light rail service to U.S. Bank Stadium this afternoon. Kate, what can you tell us?
Well, Angela, this protest started around 2 o'clock this afternoon when there were about 24 activists that had blocked the green line here with the light rail heading into downtown. Obviously, those people wanting to get to the Super Bowl. Now, this was a planned protest against police brutality. There were several activists blocking the green line wearing hoodies that said, "You can't play with black lives." Some of the protesters had chained themselves to rails or poles using a U-shaped lock. We heard chants, some people complaining about all the money that was spent on the stadium when there are problems, they said, within the community.
We shut it down because the light rail is a public system that we should be able to access. And today you have to be a Super Bowl ticket holder in order to ride it.
Now, police did start disconnecting protesters around 4 o'clock. Metro Transit does have plans in place for scenarios like this, so they did have some buses available to reroute people to make sure they were able to get to the stadium on time, but it didn't seem to be an issue in the end as they did start running as on schedule around 4 o'clock.
All right, thank you, Kate. Minneapolis is living up to the image of the bold North that's been promoted leading up to the Super Bowl. The temperature is in the single digits, but with the wind chill, it's feeling more like 14, 15 below. Folks heading to the game in their fan gear had to dress for the cold weather, too.
Oh, this is definitely too cold. Definitely too cold.
Been here 3 days.
Love Minnesota. Everyone's really nice. It is so cold here.
It's cold.
It's really cold.
Everyone can't have toes. It's very cold. The toes are the thing.
It's Minnesota in February. It's perfect, huh?
This is perfect football weather. Too bad they're playing underneath the dome.
Molly Rosenblatt joins us now from the WCCO rooftop. Hi, Molly.
Yes, that's right, Angela. It is bitterly cold out here. We're up on the rooftop and they're dismantling everything from the Super Bowl live experience behind me. Currently, it's 3 degrees out, but feeling like 14 below, and the wind is cranking. I'm sure you can tell. Let's take a look at those latest Weather Watcher numbers. One from our Weather Watcher David in St. Louis Park. 3 degrees in Blaine from Kathy, 2 below from Denny and Sandy in Sunrise. But again, feeling much colder. Many of us feeling like we're 20 below in northern Minnesota. And again, feeling like we're in the teens below zero from that wind. So a dangerously cold night out there, especially up north. And Reg Chapman, he is feeling the cold as well. He is in Fergus Falls in Otter Tail County, where fans are not hiding from the bitter cold. Reg.
Well, Molly, it is minus 24 degrees, or it feels like it's minus 24 degrees here in Otter Tail County. And I am told I'm standing on 24 inches of solid ice. Yep, they tell me that's solid ice, and they say that this is the second best place in the state of Minnesota to actually watch the Super Bowl. Well, Otter Tail County is actually celebrating its 150th anniversary, and what better way to celebrate than to throw a Super Bowl party on the lake. Now, many people actually parked their ice houses outside and came inside to this 15,000 square foot tent. They came in here to play games, to have drinks, to eat some food, but more importantly, they have this huge big screen TV in here where many of the people in this county are come out to watch. They tell us that there are a lot of people who wanted to go to the Twin Cities and watch this live, but in Otter Tail County, this is where it's at.
not everyone can be in the Twin Cities. There's only so many people that can fit into that stadium, only so many people that want to fit into the stadium. A lot of people like to be out here fishing, enjoying the outdoors, even in the cold climates, and we said, let's give them a reason to watch the Super Bowl on Otter Tail Lake.
Well, last night this place was packed. There were more than 1,500 people in this tent. They were listening to live music and dancing, but this morning, as the temperature dropped, the number of people who came out for the Super Bowl party dropped as well, but yet they are few in number, but they are mighty in spirit. Say they're going to stand out here on Otter Tail Lake and watch this game. We'll have a wrap-up of everything that happened here in Otter Tail County tonight at 10. Angela.
All right, stay warm out there. Thank you, Reg. An estimated 1 million visitors made their way to the Twin Cities this past week. Many of them flew into Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport on commercial flights, but others arrived in style. We're told about 1,100 private jets flew into town, but MSP only has room to park about 275 jets. So that's where regional airports like Flying Cloud and St. Paul's Holman Field come in. You can see the jets all lined up here. Holman Field quadrupled its number of fuel tankers and de-icing rigs. The airport is closing 2 of 3 runways to make more room for parking the private jets. Our folks had to go through security screenings to get on the light rail train to US Bank Stadium, and this was the crowd earlier today out at Mall of America. Metro Transit shut down light rail service today to help ticket holders get to and from the game. The blue and green lines were replaced with free buses, though, for riders who still need to get around. Football fans without tickets to the game are still ready to watch. Earlier today, Kate Raddatz got a look at the anticipation that was building for today's game.
We're prepping for the Super Bowl.
You can't start off Super Bowl Sunday without a classic Minneapolis brunch.
The atmosphere in this place and the whole city was amazing. Everyone's happy. I think Minnesota and Minneapolis done a wonderful job.
Ike's in downtown Minneapolis had record sales on Saturday. Out-of-towners and Minnesotans came in Sunday for the last day of Super Bowl events.
I think it's a pretty cool experience. I'd hope we get to do it again soon with our new stadium.
This Eagles fan surprised his dad with a Super Bowl trip to Minneapolis.
People from Minnesota are great, and I'll tell you, it's got to be tough because obviously losing a couple weeks ago and the way they've opened their doors to us has just been absolutely super.
And we're hearing a lot of great feedback from the visitors who are in St. Paul.
St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter hosted a free Super Bowl pre-party at the Jimmy Lee Recreation Center.
We have a lot of families in St. Paul that might never go to a Super Bowl game and maybe can't afford to go to the game in Minneapolis, but that doesn't mean we can't have a good time.
Families got a chance to take part in Super Bowl fun inside.
I think I'm more excited about commercials and the halftime show more than the actual game. You like JT? I love JT.
But if the bold North cold is your thing, this viral flash mob dance in St. Paul is sure to show off Minnesota pride. And Monday, there might be a nap on the agenda for people working downtown.
I got a massage from 10 a.m. We're working backwards from that.
Kate Raddatz, WCCO 4 News.
If you are going out after the Super Bowl, there are more than 120 bars in the Twin Cities with extended hours tonight. They will be open until 4 a.m. We will have continuous coverage of the big game for you here on social media, as well as on our website, on TV, and tonight here on WCCO at 10 o'clock. So join us. For the past week and a half, we've been fishing on the WCCO rooftop alongside lots of celebrities to help raise money for students.
We got one. Here we go.
Coming up, I'll look at the best catches, and we'll tell you how much money we were able to raise to help students across the Twin Cities. And we will take you to this year's Luminary Lopet, where candles lit up the night on Lake of the Isles. That's next on WCCO 4 News.